Hallo, Servus oder Grüß dich.
Moin.
Servus.
Tag.
Grüß Gott.
Und?
Hallöle, hallo. Grüezi.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Hallöche.
Servus.
Hoi.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie.
And I'm Aubrey.
And we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. Germany is often portrayed as one culture, you know, the lederhosen, the beer, the sausages. Well, after having lived here for nearly 2 years, we have started to learn just how wrong it is to portray all of Germany in one way. In fact, one thing that surprised us the most is the diversity in the language. The German taught in schools and what we are learning is a standardized German, commonly referred to as Hochdeutsch, and was adopted so that the whole country can communicate and unite with one another, and without it, well, sometimes, for example, a German from the north and the south wouldn't be able to communicate. A few months ago, we put out a call for native German speakers to send in recordings of them speaking their region's dialect so we could show you what we are talking about. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about today in our video: the frustrations of dictations and miscommunications in these nations.
Defining what the difference is between a dialect and a completely different language is a rather vague and hotly debated topic. In fact, in a few submissions we received from the North Germans, they explained what they speak is technically a completely different language and not really a dialect of German at all. It is also important to note that we are not just simply talking about different accents, but for example, in many cases, entirely different sets of vocabulary.
In the late 1800s, German linguist Georg Wencker became the first person to try and actually map German dialects and document their differences. Without even realizing it, we in a very rudimentary way recreated what he did, in which we wrote example sentences and asked native speakers to translate them into their local dialects. So the natural question after learning German is filled with regional dialects is, how many dialects are there?
Listing how many dialects there are can also be very tricky depending on how it is defined. There are 6 countries that have German recognized as an official language, but it is also spoken in more regions where it may not be recognized officially nationally, like in northern Italy. German dialects can be mapped out in broad categories across the German-speaking world, but then further and further refined. Numbers can range from broader groups of 12 to 20 German dialects existing, or dialects even have variations from village to village and could be defined as there being up to 40,000 different dialects.
In fact, we recently had state elections in our German state, which compared to our home state in the US is only this big, and of the politicians running for office, 5 different dialects were spoken amongst them. Popular French comic Asterix has not only simply just been printed in German for German readers, but actually translated and published in up to 29 different German dialects.
Now, we are not linguists and are only just learning German ourselves, so we are not going to dive into all the history and technical details of German dialects in this video. But if you speak a dialect yourself, know fun facts about them, or want to share your experiences with German dialects, be sure to leave those in the comments below. But now let's get to actually hearing the differences.
Real quick guys, if you would like to support us making these videos, honestly, just simply hitting that like and subscribe button goes a really long way for us. Please remember to do that. And also, if you would like to support us in other ways, we have our Patreon linked in the description. But okay. So again, we provided a list of words and sentences and simply asked our viewers to say these words in their dialects as they would in their daily lives. So let's start with just some basic greetings. Some of these are common to hear across the German-speaking countries no matter where you are, but some of these are very specific to certain regions. We will start with the Hochdeutsch, or a standard German submission, and then hear the dialects.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Hallo, Servus oder Grüß dich.
Servus.
Moin.
Hallöche.
Tag.
Servus.
Hallo or Grüß Gott.
Und?
Moin.
Hallo oder Tag.
Hoi.
Hallöle, hallo.
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 Hoi. Grüezi.
One may also change their greeting to match the time of the day, like good morning in the morning and good afternoon in the afternoon. But in some German dialects, this isn't the case.
Hello means moin. Good morning means also moin. Good afternoon means moin. Good evening means moin. You can say moin the whole day long.
Of course, it isn't just hellos that vary, it is also the farewells that vary.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Servus, Pfiat oder Tschüss.
Tschüssi.
Baba.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.
Tschö.
Vietnam.
Und auf Wiederschauen.
Ciao.
Hopp.
Farvel.
Ade. Tschüss, tschüssle.
As you travel from region to region, it is also common to hear very unique ways of saying numbers. We asked for submissions of counting from 1 to 10 in dialect, and of those, some of the more unique variations came from the numbers 7 and 9.
7.
Sim.
Simme.
Silber.
Sieben. 7.
Sime.
Sive.
Söven.
Sive.
Sofen.
Siebe.
Siebene.
7.
9.
Nee.
Nung. Nein.
Nein.
Nei.
Negen.
Nichen.
Neine.
9.
To give a couple of examples of the greatest differences in how the numbers from 1 to 10 are said, here they are in Standard German, followed by a couple of variations.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Jen. Tau. 3. 4. 5. 6. Sofen. 8. Nichen. 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 und 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sometimes the differences in the numbers did seem a little more like accent variations, but we mentioned that more of what we are talking about is where vocabularies are very different. This is more obvious when we hear the translation for a certain word in various dialects. For example, the translation for carrot.
Karotte oder Wurzel.
Möhre.
Gelbe Rum.
Karotten.
Gelbe Rüb. Karotte.
Mur. Murde.
Gellerlieb.
Wuddel.
Wuddel. Gelbreb.
Karotte. Möhre.
Rüebli.
The translation for potato also varies greatly from dialect to dialect.
Kartoffel.
Äpfel.
Erpel. Grumbier.
Kartoffel.
Kartoffel. Or we also use Erdäpfel.
Erdäpfel.
Tuffel.
Krumba. Herdäpfel. Kümmel.
And what a bread roll is called also has a lot of variations.
Brötchen.
Schrippe.
Semé.
Brötchen. Brötchen oder Schrippchen. Wickel.
Weg.
Stutje.
Weckle.
Brötli. Mutschli.
Along with single words, we also had a list of example sentences to be spoken in dialect. We have to preface the sentences by saying that we had the example sentences in English, and it was up to the people participating to translate them into their dialects. We understand that there could be a few problems with that, as people's varying levels of English could cause some variation in the translations, and next time it probably would be best to give the sentences in standard German.
But I would say that everybody did a great job translating, and these sentences still gave a great look into how different Germans sound, speak, and express themselves. The first example sentence was, "We're out of milk. Would you run to the supermarket and get some before dinner?"
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Würdest du gerade zum Supermarkt gehen und vom Abendbrot noch welche holen?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Kannst du schnell in den Laden fahren und eine holen vor dem Abendessen?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Kim, magst du nicht schnell ins Geschäft mitgehen und eine holen, dass wir noch eine haben vom Essen?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Geht das zum Supermarkt gehen und welche vom Abendessen holen?
Unsere Milch ist alle. Rennst du mal eben zum Supermarkt und holst welche vom Essen?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Kannst du zum Lädchen gehen und welche besorgen, bevor wir zu Abend essen?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Jetzt in den Supermarkt gehen und vor dem Abendessen noch Milch kaufen.
Milch ist aus. Gehst schnell vorm Essen zum Supermarkt und kaufst eine.
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Kannst du zum Geschäft fahren und vorm Abendessen noch eine besorgen?
Die Milch ist alt. Der hätte dabei in Kaffee gehen und noch vorm Nachtessen hole.
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Gehen wir gar nach Supermarkt und hol was, bevor wir eten.
Wir haben kein Milch mehr. Kannst du für das Abendbrot noch gehen oder gucken wir uns Laden fahren?
Wir haben in Molkjüt. Kennst du zur Supermarkt lob und wat fort nach dat hol?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Würdest du kurz rüber in den Laden gehen und welche fürs Fest holen?
Wir haben keine Milch mehr. Könntest du noch um die Nacht in den Laden holen?
And another example sentence was, "For lunch I ate a bread roll, sausage, 2 potatoes and drank apple juice."
Zum Mittag gab es heute ein Brötchen, Wurst, 2 Kartoffeln und Apfelsaft.
Heute Mittag hat es eine Wurst, ein Semmel, 2 Kartoffeln und einen Apfelsaft gegeben.
Zum Mittagessen habe ich heute ein Semmel, eine Bratwurst und 2 Kartoffeln gegessen und einen Apfelsaft getrunken.
Heute zum Mittagessen eine Kraude, Ballwürstel, 2 Erdäpfel und einen Apfelsaft gehabt.
Zum Mittagessen hatte ich ein Brötchen, Wurst, 2 Kartoffeln und ich habe Äpfelsaft getrunken.
Zum Mittag habe ich ein Brötchen, eine Wurst und 2 Äpfel gegessen und Apfelsaft getrunken.
Mittag habe ich Wurst mit der Semmel gegessen und 2 Kartoffeln und einen Apfelsaft habe ich getrunken.
Zum Mittag habe ich ein Pickel, Würstel und 2 Kartoffeln gegessen und habe einen Apfelsaft getrunken.
Zum Mittag habe ich einen Semmel, ein Würstel und 2 Erdäpfel gegessen und dazu einen Apfelsaft getrunken.
Zum Mittag hatte ich weg ein Wärstchen, 2 Krummbeeren und so trinke Apfelsaft.
Zum Mittag hatte ich ein Stückchen, ein Wurstchen, 2 Tuffels und ich trank Apfelsaft.
Zum Mittagessen habe ich eine Brötchen, Wurst und 2 Krummbackers und einen Apfelsaft getrunken.
Zum Mittag eet ich ein Semmel, Marich, tau Erdäpfel und trunk Apfelsaft.
Zum Mittagessen habe ich ein Bretle gegessen, eine Wurst, 2 Krummbiere und ich habe einen Apfelsaft getrunken.
Zum Abendessen hatte ich ein Brötchen, Würstchen, 2 Kartoffeln und etwas Apfelsaft.
Zum Mittagessen habe ich einen Wecker, eine Wurst, 2 Krummbeeren und einen Apfelsaft gehabt.
Zum Mittag habe ich ein Brötchen, eine Wurst, 2 Herdäpfel und ein Glas Mosch gehabt.
So can German speakers all communicate with one another? Well, of course. Like we have mentioned, that is the purpose of Standard German, referred to as Hochdeutsch, and unfortunately, over time, German dialects are becoming increasingly replaced by Hochdeutsch because of widespread media using it in their means to communicate, and only it being taught in most schools. A lot of German speakers will also pick up on or learn different words or phrases of various dialects as they grow up here, so they may understand some of another dialect because of that.
There are, of course, tons of other dialects that were not submitted to us, and that's why you didn't see them in this video. We also had a ton of other example sentences and words that were sent to us that we simply didn't have time for in this video, so if you would like to see more of those, let us know in the comments. If you want to learn more about how diverse German dialects are, we're going to leave a link in the description of an amazing project that the University of Salzburg is doing to map these out. They even have a new survey out now where you can participate by helping them define and map German dialects better. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week: if you could learn any language, which one would you learn? Thank you so much to all those that participated and sent in clips. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you in our next video.
Tschüss!
German linguist George Winker became the first person, or was it Georg?
I don't know, so
Dang it!
The whole time.
In the late 1800s, German linguist. We have to preface the sentences by saying